Good morning and a very warm welcome. This is the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne, and as always we're coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. This morning too we're ready to bring to you details of all the top stories from here at home and around the world. Do stay tuned with us for the news in detail. Let's start off with news here at home as always. The Office of the Speaker has confirmed that the resolution passed in Parliament to remove Deshabandhu Thenakon from the post of Inspector General of Police was forwarded to the President. According to the Speaker's office, this resolution was sent to the President last night.
The motion submitted to Parliament yesterday to remove Deshabandhu Thenakon from the post of Inspector General of Police was passed with a majority of 177 votes. All 177 votes were cast in favour of the motion, with no MPs voting against it. MP Ramanathan Arjuna abstained from voting, while 46 MPs were absent during the vote. Among those absent were 5 MPs from the National People's Power, 30 MPs from the Samak Janabalawegya, Sri Lanka Workers' Party MP Kadir Mastan, 5 MPs from the New Democratic Front, all 3 MPs from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, including Namal Rajapaksa, and MP Dilip Jayavira of the Sarvajana Balaya.
Meanwhile, the second reading debate on the Sri Lanka Electricity Amendment Bill will be held in Parliament today. The debate will be initiated by Minister of Energy Kumar Jaipuri.
Amendments were proposed to the Sri Lanka Electricity Act in 2024 with plans to restructure the Ceylon Electricity Board by dividing it into 12 separate entities. However, under the new draft bill, those proposals have been withdrawn and instead the CEB is planned to be restructured under 5 state-owned enterprises. This draft bill was challenged before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court concluded that certain provisions of the bill would require a 2/3 majority in Parliament and a public referendum in order to be enacted. In accordance with the Supreme Court's directives, the necessary amendments have been made, and the Ministry of Energy has announced that the revised bill will be presented to Parliament today.
Now, the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, Her Excellency Samantha Joy Mostyn, is scheduled to arrive in Sri Lanka today on an official visit. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism says that she will remain in the country until the 10th of this month. During the visit, the Australian Governor-General is scheduled to hold bilateral discussions with President Anurukumara Dissanayake and Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. Governor-General Samantha Joy Mostyn will also observe several projects supported by Australia in the areas of Bandaragama, Mirissa and Baligama. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism stated that the purpose of the Australian Governor-General's visit is to explore opportunities to further strengthen bilateral cooperation and expand existing areas of collaboration for the mutual benefit of both countries. And in more local news, the special audit conducted by the Auditor General regarding the 8th and 9th Parliaments of Sri Lanka is scheduled to be handed over to the Speaker later this month. The Speaker's office stated that, under the instructions of Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne, the Parliament has been subjected to a special audit for the first time. The audit covers several cases, including the legislative process, the use of vehicles, and foreign visits undertaken by officials and members of Parliament. In addition, the audit also examines salary and allowance payments, according to the Speaker's office. Now, the Department of Motor Traffic says that a total of 133,678 vehicles have been registered so far this year.
The highest number of registrations were for motorcycles, totaling 104,510. During the same period, 20,535 motor vehicles were registered. In addition, 3,293 three-wheelers and 1,995 dual-purpose vehicles were also registered with the Department of Motor Traffic. The department stated that vehicle registrations have increased as a result of the government granting permission for vehicle imports.
And in your weather forecast for today, the Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamua's central and northwestern provinces, as well as in the Gaul and Mathura districts.
Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in Uva and eastern provinces and in Mullaithu district after 1 p.m. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers.
And in news overseas, US President Donald Trump on Tuesday said he would raise the tariff on India very substantially over the next 24 hours, stating that while India is set to offer the US zero tariffs under a trade deal, it would not be good enough due to its purchase of Russian oil. On Monday too, Trump had warned that he would raise the tariff on India substantially, saying that India was not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, but also selling it on the open market for big profits. In the sharpest statement since Trump announced a 25% tariff on Indian goods from the 7th of August, along with the unspecified penalty for its defense and energy imports from Russia, New Delhi hit back on Monday, saying the targeting of India was unjustified and unreasonable, and the country would take all necessary measures to safeguard its national interests and economic security. On Tuesday, Russia said sovereign countries have the right to select their partners in trade and economic cooperation based on their interests. Last week, Trump had mounted a sharp attack on India and Russia for their close ties and said the two countries can take their quote-unquote dead economies down together, a remark which prompted New Delhi to say that India is the world's fastest growing major economy. And in more international news, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he had a productive conversation with US President Donald Trump on ending the war, sanctions on Russia, and finalizing a US-Ukraine drone deal.
Zelensky stated that President Trump is fully informed about Russian strikes on Kyiv and other cities and communities, referring to intensifying drone and missile attacks. Trump, who has signaled frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin in recent weeks, has given the Kremlin leader until Thursday to make peace in Ukraine or face tougher sanctions. A source in Washington said US envoy Steve Witkoff would be meeting the Russian leadership in Moscow today. Trump has threatened to impose new sanctions and levy 100% tariffs on countries that purchase Russian oil. However, sources close to the Kremlin stated that Putin is unlikely to yield to the ultimatum. Zelensky also said Ukraine was ready to conclude a deal with the United States on the purchase of Ukrainian-made drones. He said that the deal, previously valued at around $30 billion, would be one of the strongest agreements. Ukraine is increasingly relying on foreign investment to bolster its domestic arms industry. Zelensky added that Kyiv's European partners had already pledged to buy over $1 billion worth of American weapons for Ukraine under a new procurement scheme.
The Sri Lanka Junior International Badminton Series 2025 is being held for the second day today.
The Sri Lanka Junior International Badminton Series 2025, held in Wayangoda, is organized by Sri Lanka Badminton. This is the first ever international junior badminton tournament to be held in the country. Matches are being conducted in boys and girls categories under the age groups of under 13, under 15, under 17 and under 19. Competitions are taking place in singles, doubles and mixed doubles events. A special feature of this tournament is that it is a ranking event with the participation of many junior players from foreign countries. The tournament is scheduled to conclude on the 8th of August.
And that is a wrap of the breakfast rundown for this morning. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. Thank you for joining us today. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.